So let's first talk about the hardware requirements that you'll need. First thing you need is either a Mac or a Windows PC computer, a USB capture device, composite cable, and a VHS player. And then you're going to plug in one end of the composite cable to the adapter and the other end to the output of the VHS player. And then plug the USB part from the adapter to your computer. First thing you want to do is you want to go to obsprojects.com, and this time, if you're on a Windows computer, go ahead and download the Windows version of OBS Studios. Once you have downloaded, go ahead and launch the installer so you can install the software. So once you have installed OBS Studios, just go ahead and launch the program. Now again, when you first start off with the software, you might get this auto configuration wizard. You could either use this to kind of set up OBS, or you could do it manually, which I'll be doing that later on in this tutorial. So I'm just going to click cancel. And what we're going to do now is we want to make sure that we have at least one scene right here, and we could rename this to something else, but I'm just going to leave it as scene. Now we're going to add our sources, and I'm just going to hit the plus sign. Go to video capture device. And in this case, I'm just going to rename this to VHS. And I'm going to look for my device, which is called AV to USB 2.0. And I don't want to select device defaults. What I want to do is custom, so I could change the resolution. And I'm going to keep it at 720 by 480. And let's do 30 frames per second. And we're going to click OK. And just to double check, we're going to go back to settings. Go back to video. And our base canvas is set to 720 by 480. I want to change the output resolution as well. 720 by 480. I'm going to click apply and then OK. Next thing we want to do is you want to go back to settings. Go back to audio. For desktop audio, we'll just leave it as default, but we're going to mute it later on before we start capturing our VHS tapes. Same thing for desktop audio too. We're actually going to disable that. Mic auxiliary audio, that will be like a microphone if you have something connected. I'm going to keep that disabled. What I want to do is I want to use the mic auxiliary audio 2, then select microphone USB 2.0 mic. That is what the adapter is using. So I'm just going to click apply and then OK. And I'm also going to click on the advanced audio properties. I just click on these three dots right here, right next to mic/aux2. And I want to make sure that there is just one audio track. Now, if you want two audio tracks, you could just check off two. But for me, I'm just going to check off one. And that will be the mic/aux2. And I also want to make sure that I am able to monitor and hear the output as well. So I'm going to click close. Next thing I want to do is go back to settings, and we're actually going to go back to output. And output mode, you want to change from simple to advanced. And let's go to the recording tab. And then it's going to show you the recording path, and you can change that by clicking on browse. You can select a different folder. I'm going to keep it MPEG-4. And I'm basically just going to leave these by default. And again, depending on your computer, you're going to have to play around with the settings and see which one works for you. For the preset, I'm just going to click on recording, and then I'm going to keep it balanced. And the target bitrate, I'm going to leave it at this bitrate first. Now, if I notice that it starts hogging up the CPU on my computer, then I'm going to change it, make it a little bit lower. So this is the part where you do have to experiment a little bit, because it really depends on your computer. So for now, I'm just going to hit apply and then OK. So now I'm ready to record. So what I like to do is I click on the start recording button first. Then I press play on my VHS player. And once I'm done, I just press on the stop button on the VHS player, and also make sure to click on the stop recording button in OBS Studios. And it'll tell you where the recording was saved. So now I'm going to look for that video file. And here is the file. And I'm just going to skim through it real quick. There it is. Got the same capture. Yeah, so now it's in a MP4 format. And let's also see properties. And the resolution is 720 by 480. Now here are some additional bonus tips for everyone. On Windows, if you're having trouble seeing your video capture device, let's say for example you just add the sources but it's showing a black screen, what you want to do is you want to make sure you search for camera privacy settings. Once you are in the privacy and security under the camera section, you want to make sure camera access is turned on, and also the let apps access your camera, that is on. Scroll all the way down to make sure OBS is added into that section. And also you want to make sure let desktop apps access your camera. If you don't see the capture device in Mac OS, go ahead and go to System Settings, go to Privacy and Security, and then under the camera section, you want to make sure that OBS is allowed to use the computer's camera and also microphone as well. And under Accessibility, you also want to make sure OBS is enabled as well. If for some reason your audio is out of sync while you're capturing, you want to play around with the sync offset. All you do is just click on the three dots next to the audio source of your capture device, go to Advanced Audio Properties, and you want to play around with the sync offset. Normally, I find that 100 milliseconds should fix the issue, but again, it all depends on your videos, and you're just going to have to play around with it.